I'd like to introduce Wendy, who's joining us today to share her car experience. Now, your owner drive is this 2015, is that right?
Yes.
The Mazda CX-3 that we have sitting here behind us. So can you tell us, first of all, how long ago did you purchase it? Is it brand new or?
Yeah, bought it brand new. So I got the second range up, so it's the CX3 Maxx.
Maxx, okay.
Yep.
What would be the main reasons for going with the Maxx?
It just had slightly better, like comfier seats.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So the interior appealed to you?
Yes, definitely.
Good. And did you consider any of the competition, any other options?
So I looked at the Toyota range as well. I looked at the small cars, so the Yaris ones, which my family members have.
Yeah.
I also looked at the next one up as well. But I think I didn't go with that because the seating and the interior wasn't as comfortable as the Mazda. And from previous experience with car accidents with some of the other, with the Toyota Yaris.
Tell us a typical week in the life of the Mazda CX-3. What sort of driving does that entail?
So it sits in my garage pretty much 5 days a week.
Okay.
Because I just take public transport into work. So usually I do most of my driving on the weekend. Sometimes just to the shops, which is pretty close, so about 5 minutes down the road from me.
Yeah.
And to family, which is 15 minutes drive.
In terms of styling, so I know Mazda's been, in my opinion, making pretty good looking cars for a while now. Did that appeal to you at the time of purchase?
Definitely, especially the air conditioning kind of shape.
Yeah.
I think with the others, it looked really awkward and clunky. So I think the design and interior is quite sleek, which is something that I really like. So you've got the clean lines and it all kind of just flows into each other. So that's kind of one of the really good drawbacks for me as to why I picked this car.
And from the exterior point of view, did you think it was a good looking car?
Yes, definitely. Quite sleek. It wasn't too bulky, I suppose. And it's quite streamlined, so it gives me quite a good kilometre. The fuel is quite good.
Good.
Yeah.
How about from a practical point of view? So typically it's you in the car?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So do you find the seating comfort pretty good?
Yes, definitely. So it's really good for someone who's quite short, in my opinion. So when I move my seat to the almost to the most front extent, I can still look over my shoulder quite clearly, and I can still see cars coming from or in the next lane before I do a lane change.
Yeah, sure. So good visibility all around.
Yes, correct.
How about the cargo space? Does that come in handy? Is there enough there for you?
Yeah, so for one person, it's really good. It fits my groceries really well. I can also put the seats down and I can put all my camping gear as well in there, or if I'm doing like a big shop with like flat packs and stuff, the seats fold down really easily and it's quite easy to do.
In terms of engine performance, I know this is powered by one of the Mazda Skyactiv engines, so it's a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, I believe.
Correct.
How do you find the driving day to day?
Pretty good. I used to just use the normal unleaded petrol, which made the engine quite loud actually. So I've just recently switched to the E10, which I found the engine performance is quite much better. And it's a lot quieter as well, which is really good.
Okay, that's interesting. What about manoeuvring around the car parks? That's a fairly compact SUV. Do you find it easy to park and manoeuvre around town?
Yeah, very easy. Usually the small car spaces, if everyone's within the lines, it's really easy to manoeuvre.
Yeah.
The back camera is really useful as well, just to make sure that I'm fully within the car spot, which is really handy.
Yeah, very good. I did have a seat in the second row there, so there wasn't quite enough headroom for me. But people, I guess, under the 6 foot mark they'd be quite comfortable in the back there.
Yeah.
Do you normally get any complaints from passengers in the back, or are they fairly comfortable back there?
So they're usually all around my height, so they don't mind kind of sitting at the back because it's quite comfy.
What about safety? Was that a consideration for you at all when you bought the car? I don't know. Does it have the blind spot monitoring and
No.
autonomous or braking? I think they were an optional.
Yes, correct.
Extra at the time.
Yes, yep. When I checked it out, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it had a rating of 4 stars when it was released. So, yeah, Mazda's making pretty safe cars these days. You touched on the petrol. Have you kept an eye on the fuel economy at all? I think the official figures quoted from Mazda were just over 6. And I think your trip computer was saying, was it 6.9?
But I do generally get a month out of a full tank just with my basically weekend driving and sometimes just the occasional travelling on weekdays.
So in terms of servicing, how often are you doing it? And what's the ballpark figure for the costs involved?
Yep, so I take mine in once a year. So usually the small kind of service is about 300 to 400,
Okay.
depending what else they need to change.
Okay.
Usually the bigger one, which was last year's one, it was about $500 or $600 because they were doing the bigger service on
Okay,
it.
must have done a few extra things then.
Yes, correct.
Was it cap price at all when you bought it or not?
It was, but I think with the other consumables as well, that got added onto the cost of the service, which is fine.
Okay. And any unexpected repairs or expenses that have popped up over the last 5 years?
No, which is really good. Got a bit of a scare when there was the airbag issue.
Of course, yeah, Takata.
Yes, correct. So I was pretty lucky that my car was not impacted, which was really good. Takes the stress out of whether or not I should be driving my car due to safety.
So it sounds like Mazda's looked after you pretty well
Yes.
over the last 5 years, would you say?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Would you recommend the CX3 to any other potential buyers out there?
Absolutely. I think if you're just a single or a couple without kids, it's probably the most pretty perfect car. It's good to be able to fold the seats down so you can get a bit more camping space and stuff in there as well.
Excellent. All right, now how about a rating out of 10 then for the CX3?
For me, probably a 9 because with the pretty good running costs as well, and it suits my needs pretty perfectly. The seats are really comfortable as well for long distance travelling.
Yeah. Okay, sounds like you've been very happy with your purchase thus far. I think 9 out of 10 is the best rating we've had on Owner Drive from an owner. So if you're in the market for a compact SUV, it sounds like it's a good choice.